result like that?
Well, I guess 31 points up, 10-minute mark of the third quarter. You shouldn't lose a game from that position. So we'll have a look. I guess exactly what happened, but it just felt like we got beaten inside the contest. They spread harder than us. Uncontested ball was a major issue for us. Gave away too many undisciplined free kicks and 50-metre penalties. So just looked like we didn't have the poise at times when it was really required. So it's almost like we played on when we shouldn't have, and we didn't play on when we should have. So we just didn't look like we had the right amount of poise when the game called for it.
You've got a clearly defined Crows game. Where do you think it's not working anymore?
We're getting in a shootout in our games, which is not good. So, I mean, tonight that didn't suit us. The open, free-flowing style of game looked like it suited Port in the end. They had 33 scoring shots from 56 entries. So our defence has got to improve. And that's not, I mean, the 6 defenders. That's our team defence. So across the board. But yeah, we just made fundamental errors at critical times of the game. You know, you shouldn't lose a game when you're 31 points up. But I said at half-time to the media, going back across the ground, that we shouldn't have been in front anyway. You know, we kicked 5 goals straight in the second quarter. They kicked 1 goal 6. They looked like they were the better side, and, you know, the better side won today.
What's it say when you lose a key indicator?
Yeah, lost contested ball, lost uncontested. That's a bad sign. When you lose inside and then lose outside the contest, there's something wrong with your method and something wrong with your intensity at the ball. So we'll have to address that this week.
I know that it's only 3 games into the season, but where do you think you're at? Obviously, you need to find some improvement. How do you find that?
I mean, we're obviously in the bottom half of the ladder. That's probably reflective of how we're playing. You know, we had a good win last week up in Brisbane. You know, that's a tough road trip, but we didn't back it up tonight when it mattered. You know, the showdowns are a big game for our fans. They're a big game for our footy club, and we let ourselves down tonight, and we let our fans down. They should be disappointed. Our players are upset, but at the same time, you know, showdowns, when it matters, you need to perform better than what we did tonight.
Is it too easy to say?
No, we weren't. We wouldn't have changed anything with our pre-season. We trained really hard through the break. We didn't have a sort of a Christmas period off. You know, we pushed our boys through the Christmas period as well, when other teams have their sort of 2-week break. So we are ready for the start of the season, but we're not playing like a top 8 side at the moment.
What do you say about your forward movement?
At times it's good. At times, though, we look a bit stagnant. We didn't take our opportunities to shift the ball off the traffic line tonight. We kicked it to where they had their numbers, and their spread was much better. They seemed to have a lot more width than us, so they had players on the open side of the ground. We had no one. We all seemed to be just down the traffic line, and Port were able to read it pretty well.
Should Walker be spending so much time behind Sando?
He transitions up the ground, then he's got to turn around and get back inside 50.
Is he going too deep? Or is being forced to go too deep?
No, I don't think so. No, I don't think Tex was the reason why we...
No, I'm not suggesting that, but watching him having to play so much behind centre seems to be far from where he's going to do his damage.
Yeah, I mean, obviously you work up the ground and you work back, so he's got to push up and defend, and then he's got to work back inside 50. So same as what Douglas does, or Sloan, or Petrenko, or John Cock. Those guys need to work up the ground and work back towards our goal as well.
You actually killed Port Adelaide in the last showdown because of Jacob's dominance. What do you think of that ruck setup today?
No, he got beaten. He's one of our players that needs to lift, and he knows that. We're not getting the dominance that we're used to in there. So yeah, he's one player that's going to have to find some form pretty quickly.
So Brenton, the lack of intensity in the second half, is we putting it down to losing concentration, fitness, or desire, or bits of all of those?
I don't think you can pinpoint it to one of those particular things. Port were the better side tonight. You know, full credit to them. They looked a better side even when we were 31 points up, if that makes sense. I said to our players at half-time, don't be seduced by the scoreboard, because we were getting beaten around the contest, even though we were in front. The better team won today, and we'll need to make sure we we get back on the training track and iron out some of these issues that we're having.
When you started the second half, you seemed to slow the play down and kick short. You seemed to be making sure of every disposal or possession. Was that deliberate to try and slow Port's game down? Or
Yeah.
you did that, you kicked 3 goals.
Yeah, we tried to control the tempo at times. At times we looked really good in attack. You know, we got some easy goals tonight, some of those ones out the back. And we should have, I mean, we missed some sitters. We played on when we shouldn't have a few times, you know, that... who was it played on? Was it Tex played on from a free kick and kicked a point, and right hand balls to Yench, who gets caught holding the ball. They go down the other end and score, so there's a like 11, 12 point turnaround. Just looked like we didn't have the poise and composure at times that are required in an AFL game.
Brenton, what's the difference between this Adelaide and the one that excited everyone last year?
It looks like there's a lot different at the moment. Looks like there's a lot different.
Is it manageable?
Oh, it certainly is, yeah. I mean, we're not throwing in the towel yet. We're 1 win, 2 losses at round 3. There's a long way to go, but I'm disappointed for our fans. I'm disappointed for our players. Yeah, we've just got to make sure we get back to playing our way pretty quickly. You know, we've got 7 days now to get ready for the Bulldogs. They're going to be tough. But yeah, we've lost, even though it was our away game tonight, we've lost 2 games at home, you know, which is disappointing for us to start a season.
You talk about all those errors and the lack of poise. Is 7 days enough to get that back?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, you can't flick the switch on form, but we just need some of our better players to improve, you know, and we're not getting a consistency of performance at the moment. And also, it starts with the senior coach, you know. I've got to identify ways that we need to improve and get better at coaching. So, yeah, from the top down, we'll put a much better performance on next week, I'm sure.
What was it look like they've taken their game to a new level this year? Do you think your players have done the same?
Not yet, clearly, no. No, we're not playing how we want to play. There's no question about that.
What was the message you were giving Bernie Vince by putting him in the vest as a substitute?
Well, he's been out of form. He's been out of form, so he's just so valuable to us, though. I didn't want to have him out of the side. I felt like he'd play better tonight. We saw what it did with Port Pleasure last week. You know, came on and almost won us the game single-handedly last week. So I was hoping for a similar performance from Bernie, but we didn't get it.
You mentioned the right and Yench one. Whose fault is that? Is that Wright's fault to handle or Yench to call when he's under such...
Oh, a bit of both, yeah. I mean, Yench shouldn't call for it. Righty should just go back, shake him off and have a shot for goal. But, yeah, sometimes in the spur of the moment you make poor decisions, but I'm sure both those players would like that opportunity again to change their mind.
Do you think that was a real turning point?
Yeah, it was, but that wasn't the only point. That wasn't the only issue. You know, we just didn't play well. You know, we made fundamental errors when it counted. Port ran harder than us outside of contests, and they won inside. You know, so there's a lot of things we did poorly tonight. A lot of things.
You still got an issue with where you're setting up?
Yeah, structurally a few times. Yeah, I mean, even tonight, a few centre bounces. They had 6 forwards ahead of the ball. We had 5 defenders. You know, I'm not sure what was going on. Communication was poor. But yeah, we struggled a little bit to set up both sides of the footy tonight.
What's the nature of BB's injury? Is he subbed off?
Yeah, it's a knee injury. I'm not sure exactly what it is though. This stage, the doctor. I haven't seen the doctor, but he said he's got a knee injury. Could be one of lots of things, I guess.
Is it from a knock, a strain?
It was from a knock, yeah.
Brent Riley is normally, last season, such a clean player. Are you concerned about the frees against that seem to be crept into his game?
Yeah, not just him, but the whole team. Giving away reckless free kicks, giving away 50-metre penalties. I think we probably lead the competition for 50s, another 3 or 4 tonight. It's undisciplined, so not just him, but we'll tidy it up through the whole team this week.
What do you think your message will be at review?
I'm guessing it won't look pretty. Even when we're 31 points up, it won't be looking good. I could feel that in the box. I was agitated a lot tonight. I wasn't happy with how we were playing even when we were 30 points up. So full credit to Port. They played really well tonight. They deserve the win. We'll lick our wounds and come back a better side next week.
You talk about how this group drives itself, it's player driven. Is it still going to be that way?
I hope so, yeah. I hope so. If you're proud about your performance, you won't play like that next week. You won't need your senior coach to tell you you're playing poorly.
All right, thanks, guys.
Any other injuries? The report?
No.
Good report.
Yeah, it's the report, charging.
We're voting against the report for charging for
Chad Wingard umpire for the last quarter.
How's it going?
Yeah.
Hey?
Umpire was-
CD.